Have you ever questioned your own sanity? That's where our protagonist, the unnamed narrator, finds himself at the start of Fight Club. This darkly fascinating journey begins with our nameless hero trapped in the throes of chronic insomnia. His mind a battlefield, his life a monotone symphony of corporate drudgery. Desperate for a solution, he seeks solace in the most unlikely of places, support groups. A strange solution, perhaps, but one that brings him a semblance of peace. That is, until Marla Singer enters the scene. Marla, as disruptive as she is intriguing, shatters his constructed sanctuary and sends his life back into chaos. Yet, it's not the end of his turmoil. On the contrary, it's just the beginning, because it's not until he meets the charismatic Tyler Durden that his life takes an unexpected turn, but we'll get to that. For now, let's unravel the enigma that is Fight Club. Ever thought about breaking societal norms to feel alive? That's exactly what the narrator and Tyler Durden decide to do. In their quest for liberation from the suffocating mundanity of their everyday lives, our two protagonists, the unnamed narrator and the enigmatic Tyler Durden, concoct a radical idea. They form the Fight Club, an underground haven where men gather under the cloak of darkness to engage in bare-knuckle brawls. It's a place where blood, sweat, and raw emotions seep into the concrete floor, a place where men can unleash their primal instincts. The Fight Club isn't merely a battleground for physical fights. It's a sanctuary where men can freely express their inner turmoil. These recreational fights aren't about winning or losing, but rather about experiencing a form of therapy, a catharsis. It's about feeling something other than the numbness that has become their lives. The club operates under a strict set of rules, the first two of which have become iconic. The first rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club. These rules not only add to the clandestine nature of the club, but they also create a sense of unity and brotherhood among the participants. The fights serve as a form of therapy for the participants, allowing them to vent out their frustrations and dissatisfaction with life. In the ring, they're not just office workers, mechanics, or salesmen. They're warriors. They're survivors. Their scars become badges of honor, tangible proof of their battles, both physical and psychological. But as the club gains momentum, it starts to transform. What started as a therapeutic outlet for pent-up aggression begins to morph into a cult-like entity. The Fight Club becomes more than just a place to fight. It becomes a platform for Durden's anti-establishment ideologies, setting the stage for the ominous Project Mayhem. Fight Club becomes a cathartic sanctuary for these men, but it soon evolves into something far more sinister. What happens when a Fight Club spirals out of control? Welcome to Project Mayhem. As Fight Club evolves, it morphs into something far more volatile and dangerous. Project Mayhem. This anarchic organization, born from the ashes of Fight Club, has one mission: to disrupt society's monotonous rhythm. But the stakes are higher now. The blows hit harder, and the consequences of their actions ripple far beyond the confines of their underground fight ring. Our narrator, once a willing participant, now watches on with growing unease. The thrill of the fight has been replaced with a gnawing discomfort, a sense of impending doom. The men he once saw as brothers in arms are now foot soldiers in a war against order, and he is their reluctant general. Project Mayhem's acts of rebellion are no longer confined to the basement. They spill onto the streets, causing havoc and chaos. They are no longer just fighters. They are now saboteurs, vandals, revolutionaries. With each act of defiance, they chip away at the foundations of the society they despise, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. But as the chaos escalates, our narrator makes a shocking discovery. He begins to question the reality of his charismatic companion, Tyler Durden. The man who started it all, the man who ignited the spark of rebellion, seems to exist only in his mind. As he grapples with this revelation, he realizes that he and Tyler are one and the same. Tyler Durden is not real. He is a figment of his own fractured psyche, a manifestation of his suppressed desires, his unspoken frustrations, his longing for liberation. The realization hits him like a punch to the gut. He has not just been following Tyler Durden, he has been Tyler Durden. He is the architect of his own chaos, the instigator of his own destruction. As Project Mayhem's chaos escalates, our narrator makes a shocking discovery. Tyler Durden is not real. He is a figment of his own fractured psyche. What if your worst enemy is your own mind? This is the brutal reality our narrator must confront. Imagine the world as you know it, unraveled thread by thread, until the fabric of your reality is nothing more than a tangled mess of confusion. This is the truth that our narrator faces as he grapples with a shocking revelation. He and Tyler Durden, the charismatic leader of Fight Club, are the same person. The realization is not a gentle one. It slams into him like a freight train, leaving him reeling. He's been living a double life and he's been none the wiser. It's a harsh reality to swallow. And it's made all the more bitter by the fact that Project Mayhem, the anarchistic movement he unwittingly helped to create, is spiraling out of control. In the midst of this chaos, our narrator is desperate to regain control. He tries to stop Project Mayhem, to put an end to the madness that's gripping the city, but it's like trying to stop a tidal wave with a teaspoon. The momentum is too great, the force too strong. Feeling cornered, he confronts his alter ego in a desperate attempt to assert his dominance. He and Tyler engage in a battle of wills, a mental tug-of-war where the stakes couldn't be higher. It's his sanity on the line, his very identity. And Tyler, being the formidable opponent that he is, does not go down easily. The confrontation reaches a climax that is as shocking as it is inevitable. Our narrator, pushed to the brink of despair, does the one thing that he believes will rid him of Tyler forever. He pulls a gun to his mouth and pulls the trigger. It's a desperate, drastic move, a bid to regain control of his life by effectively killing his alter ego. In a desperate bid to regain control, he does the unthinkable. He shoots himself, effectively killing Tyler. This is the unraveling of reality, a chilling testament to the power of the mind and the lengths one man will go to reclaim his sanity. How does one recover from such a revelation? Our narrator finds himself amidst the wreckage of his own making. In the aftermath of the narrator's actions, we see a world that has been irrevocably changed. The credit card buildings, symbols of consumer debt and societal pressure, have been obliterated. It's a reset, a clean slate, a tabula rasa, a chaotic symbol of liberation, yes, but also a stark reminder of the power one man's mind held over an entire city. And then there's Marla. Marla, who was initially just another pawn in the narrator's complex game of self-destruction, finds herself drawn back into his orbit. Despite the chaos and the revelations, she stays. She's seen the worst of him, of them, and yet she remains. It's a testament to the strange, dysfunctional bond they share, a bond that's been forged in the fires of their shared insanity. This reunion brings us to the iconic final scene. As the dust settles and the cityscape is irrevocably changed, we find our two protagonists standing hand in hand, watching the world they knew crumble around them. It's a moment of quiet amidst the chaos, a moment of connection in the face of destruction. This is where we leave our narrator holding Marla's hand, staring out at the wreckage of his own making. It's a moment of profound realization, of acceptance, and in this moment, he utters the final line, a line that encapsulates the bizarre, twisted journey he's been on. You met me at a very strange time in my life. A fitting end indeed. Fight Club was never just a movie about an underground fight club. It was a psychological exploration, a journey into the mind of a man grappling with his identity, with society, and with his own sanity. An unforgettable journey that ends with the crumbling of buildings, the holding of a hand, and a whispered confession in the dark. As the buildings crumble around them, the narrator, holding Marla's hand, utters the final line, "You met me at a very strange time in my life." A fitting end to an unforgettable journey.